Hi everyone, welcome back. This is going to be my much awaited condo tour. I had a lot of questions when we first moved in if we were going to be putting up a condo tour quite quickly, and I had thought yes, but that was not the case at all. I had no concept of how long it would take to not only paint everything, but get furniture in, get stuff sorted and put where I wanted it, that it's now 2.5 months later and I'm only just managing to film this now. Now, a bit of background information for you guys. My husband and I are first-time home buyers and we have bought a 2-bedroom plus den condo in downtown Toronto. We got very, very lucky on the size of this place compared to others that we had looked at. Everything was so small, like in our price range, that were 700 to 800 square feet, and we managed to get this place at 1,000 square feet for a really good price tag. So we are really happy with our choice and our decision, and we even managed to stay in the neighborhood that I've been living in for the last, geez, like 14 years now, and I just love it here so much. So of course, since we were first-time home buyers, we didn't know a whole heck of a lot, and I have to say this process was so much easier than I ever anticipated. We got very lucky in the sense that I play soccer with my friend Dave Coffey, and he is a realtor, and he was just more than willing to help us look at places and go wherever we wanted and suggest things that were in our price range and just really help us feel out the market, because we had no idea what we were doing. And I also didn't like the idea of going and hunting down someone that I didn't know in order to help me. I just felt like that felt really bizarre. Like, how do you know you can trust them? But it was just amazing that I've been playing soccer with Dave for I don't know how many years now, and it was just like one day I just mentioned to him, oh, you know, we're kind of thinking about looking around, and he was just able to help us right away. And I could trust him because I've been playing sports with him for years, so it didn't feel like a weird disconnect to be like, hey, person I don't know, can you help me out? So he was a fantastic resource. He was so patient with us. He took us around. We don't have a car, so he was able to drive us to certain places. And we got a really good feel for the market in Toronto, which could be a little bit depressing at times, but we found a place that worked for us in the end. We also got lucky with a mortgage broker too. My friend Julie, who runs the blog Swatch and Review, actually recommended someone named Scott Brown. And this is what's funny to me in this internet age. So he's a mortgage broker and he would shop around for rates for us to find the best rate possible. But I never met this guy. So we'd talk on the phone. It was a great conversation. We'd get all our questions answered. He'd be constantly in contact in emails. And it's funny because he got us a great rate, but again, I never met him. So the realtor and the mortgage broker, and then in the end the bank, all kind of work together to make sure that you're getting what you want. But for a lot of it, it's mostly hands-off. Like, aside from David and I picking the place that we wanted to live and signing multiple documents and, you know, agreeing on a rate, agreeing on the price, fundamentally, we're kind of like just hands off and everybody deals with it. And I thought that was amazing. So we had a really good buying experience. We didn't have problems with the rate changing or with the price tag of this place changing. Nothing that I've heard horror stories from people who've been buying places. So I think we're very fortunate, but I can also chalk it up to the people that we dealt with were absolutely incredible. So I know it helps to get a little bit of word of mouth from people that have used other people before in this profession. So I'm gonna link Dave Coffey's information down below, and I will also link our mortgage broker's information down below. His name is Scott Brown. So if you're in Toronto and you don't know who to reach out to, you know that I use these people and that maybe you can trust them if you're looking to buy a place yourself. Or even if you just have questions. They are more than happy to answer questions. They're great people. So all of that out of the way, you guys are here for the condo tour. So let's get right into that. All right, guys, so welcome to my condo tour. You may have already seen the introduction where I showed you what it looked all empty, but this is how it's gonna look as of right now, which is approximately, I think, about 2.5 months after we've moved into the place. I was surprised with how long it took us to get everything ready for like showing people, but here we are. So the entrance is obviously right through here, and we have a little bit of a space where we can just take our stuff off and put it in the closet. There's a little bit of a, what do they call, like a desktop curio type thing. There's a mirror above it, which I really wanted because I feel like I've lived in a lot of places where a mirror was just not readily accessible, so I wanted something that I could see myself on the way out the door. And opposite of that mirror is a little bit of a rack that we just use for mostly scarves, some bags. That's my soccer stuff in the green one right there. And then like some hoodies and stuff that we're just kind of using, you know, day to day. So back over here, this is our entrance closet, and it's pretty big. It's pretty decent considering what we have, which is a lot of coats apparently. All of our shoes fit down here too, and then we have a little bit of a rack just in there for more of our shoes. David set up this really handy, like, well, they're backpack hooks to us, but these are for railings for a banister, and we've got one there for my backpack. And then there's another one up there for his, which is great because we are backpack people. I don't carry a purse. He doesn't carry like a man bag, so we need backpacks. And backpacks were always something that kind of stuck out in our old place. Like usually we just like put them on the floor and they were always in the way. So getting them in the closet is so great. So we've got a little bit of storage up there. There's not a ton. We've got some, just some, I guess, winter stuff up there. I can see more soccer stuff. But it's decent for a hall closet. All right, now if I spin around completely, on the other side of the entrance is our kitchen, which we had originally thought that we were going to renovate when we first moved in, but we just decided not to because we didn't know how much all of this was going to end up costing us. And in the end, I'm glad we decided not to go ahead with renovations because learning to pay a mortgage and condo fees and all the things that you need to buy in order to move into your own place does get quite expensive. So this is, I don't know if it's the original furnishings from when this place was built in the 80s, but it does look very dated. I'm not a huge fan of it, especially all the white kind of appliances. I think they get dirty really easily, and they also get yellowed quite quickly just with age. But you know, we're working with what we got, and it's more than like fine for us to live in. So, I mean, it's a basic kitchen overall. We've got our cat food over here, double sink, which is handy. All of our cereal gets stacked over here because we don't have a ton in like counter space and shelf space. So we kind of have to make do with like filling up this sort of breakfast bar area here. And then spinning around, we have, as you would expect, an oven, and then this ancient microwave. This thing looks like a relic to me. And that's seriously it for counter space. There is not a ton. And we have a split fridge here, so you can open it from either side. The freezer is on the left and the more fridge part is on the right. And just on the fridge, we have, well, a few pictures, but then these are all like magnets from places that we visited together, which I think is kind of cool. And then I've got my workout schedule down there. Okay, leaving the kitchen, we have, again, that little, this was an IKEA unit, and we just, it's literally like a junk area. So we've got keys and stuff up there, like loose change, and just random other things that end up here. The cat's food area does end up going down here. We weren't really sure where else to put it, and this did seem to be the best place to put it where it's kind of out of the way. So with the kitchen and entrance area done, I can take you into the main room. So this is where our dining area is, as well as our living space for like TV and entertaining kind of stuff. So first, right off the bat, I have a huge cat tree here. This one was bought for Nemo many years ago, and I think it's still his favorite one. But swinging around to the kitchen area, we finally have our own kitchen table, which is not something I have ever had. I am 34 years old, and this is my first time owning a kitchen table. Kind of miraculous, actually. So we bought this at StruckTube, which was great because StruckTube has this thing where they charge you $100 for delivery, which is a lot to absorb, but it doesn't matter how many items you buy, it'll always be $100. So we ended up buying quite a few items, and the shipping fee was only $100, which was fantastic. So this table was from StruckTube, as were the chairs. And then we have a wine cooler over here, but I think it's actually broken right now, which is kind of sad. We don't really know where it's going to live forever, but right now that's kind of where we stuck it. And then we just have kind of our wine haul for the weekend. We had our housewarming party over the weekend, and people were very generous and brought us some bottles of wine, but that's more than I can normally keep in the house, because if I have a bottle of wine handy, I want to crack it open. So that's what I've got there. We have our like nicer glassware over here on this unit from IKEA, which I would never recommend buying. This thing is weak, not sturdy. And like I broke the first one I put together. You'll see the other one when we get to the bedroom. But it works for what we need it to do right now, which is just house our wine glasses, and we've got some martini glasses and some champagne flutes, as well as a martini mixer down there, and just a little bit of storage down there that we haven't actually used up yet. All right, so sliding over into the main space, we have this massive sectional sofa that I am so in love with. This was also purchased at StruckTube, I believe, and it was shipped along with the table and the chairs. And it is so good for having company over just because it is so big. In previous years and different apartments that I've had, I've only ever had like a single sofa that could fit 4 people, but then you're all kind of like sitting next to each other. And it's just ridiculous because you're not looking at each other, you're looking forward. So it's really nice to have this massive thing. I think we had like 10 people on it on the weekend. It was fantastic. And then the coffee table that we have is from Urban Barn. This thing is so sturdy. It is made out of solid wood, and that thing is like precious to me because it's like not IKEA furniture. And I think it's one of the items that I was like, okay, I'm done with IKEA furniture. We're starting to move on to adult furniture. And this was, I think, the first item that I got. And then we have the matching media table for it as well that our TV sits on. So they go together, which actually ended up being really good because they were discontinuing this range. So we got that at half price, which was amazing. So opposite the TV and the media stand is our bookcases. And I'm gonna try to get this all in frame, but we have a bit of a DVD games rack here. So that's more like our PlayStation games and Xbox. And then we've got 3 bookcases from IKEA that are side by side here. I love books. I don't read as much as I used to, but I also really love having them in a visual space. I know people are so obsessed with like Kindles and having all of their media on their computer, but for me, I really want stuff in my face. It's a lot of stuff and it's really annoying to when you're moving apartments and your friends are carrying your boxes going, why do you have so many books? But I think visually it's so pleasing to me. It looks like a library. I just really, really love it. So that's our bookcase area. All right, so spinning you back around again, I have to talk about this paint color. This is one of my favorite colors of life. This color ended up being called Lucky Charm Green by Benjamin Moore, which I thought was a beautiful color, and I wanted to put it everywhere in our living room. And I know a lot of people were like, that's a really bright color. And it is, but it's not too much, I don't think, especially given how much gray we have that kind of just takes over the color as well. We are still missing, like there's artwork that needs to go there and there's artwork we've bought that's gonna go over there. And that'll help absorb some of the color, but I think the way it is now, it actually works out really, really well. So coming in here, we have, aside from the sectional sofa, oh, I love it so much. We have a little chair. I think this was another purchase at StruckTube. And then a little stand for this IKEA light over here. I think this was like secondhand. And then we have this money tree over here, which we had to give up the huge ivy that I had because ivy is poisonous to cats. And we used to have the ivy outside on the balcony in the old place, but we don't have a balcony with this place, so we had to get something that was cat safe in case they decided to eat it. And so a money tree is what we ended up with. And we have another enormous cat tree here. We bought like 2 new ones when we moved into this place. David was very insistent on buying furniture for the cats as well as for ourselves. So moving down here, we have, again, more media. We have a lot of stuff, guys. So these are kind of like double stacked in the back. I think the front is all DVDs for movies or Blu-ray, and the back row is all TV shows, and it's, you know, not just this row, but it's the one down there too. We've got 2 of these cat things. Why we don't have just one, I don't know. Another small little cat tree. And that's something you're gonna notice. There are cat toys all over the place here. Like they're like our children, right? So we just leave their toys out all the time. Have a few board games down here. We have some Magic the Gathering cards, and we have an actual cat here with another cat tree. So coming into this room, this is our sunroom. This room is technically a den. It doesn't qualify as a bedroom, which is great for us because it meant that we could purchase a 2-bedroom plus den as opposed to buying a 3-bedroom where the price tag would have gone way the heck up. But we actually use this as a guest bedroom because this is a pull-out sofa, and this is how much space somebody needs if they're going to be staying over, because we don't have guests all the time. So it's just great to have this extra sitting space that's quite pretty because you can look outside and see trees and stuff like that. But you can also turn it into a guest room because this door actually slides closed, and David put these like translucent covers on them. Now, clearly you can still see in a little bit, but it provides people a little bit more privacy if they're going to be staying over. So coming into the room, this might be a little bit cramped because I don't have a ton of space to move. We got our sofa in here that we used to have in our main area before, and again, this is a sofa bed, so it pulls out and it's a queen size, so 2 people can sleep on it easily. And we have a bit of a coffee table here that I'm pretty sure David found at, must have been a secondhand store. This was ages ago. So again, we have 2 more enormous cat trees here. We've got one right here, small one over there. So if I come into the room a little bit more, this would have been kind of the angle that you saw from Tuesday's video. This is Bubbles the cat. That is just a stuffed cat toy. And then I've got like my old light that you guys used to see in old videos, and then my friend Julie got me a little plant as a housewarming present. So the thing that's a little bit odd about this design for a condo is that this sunroom looks into our studio, which is technically considered our second bedroom, but we use it as a studio because we don't need it as a second bedroom. So I think a few people would be like, well, I don't really want my other bedroom to look into the sunroom, but for us this is absolutely perfect because we don't necessarily need the second bedroom to face onto the street, which is what's directly behind the camera right now. All right, so let's take you around to the other side of the condo. So we come into the hallway, which is where the rest of the rooms kind of connect from. And we have laundry for the first time ever in our condo. I am so excited about that. We do laundry all the time now, as opposed to, you know, being the lazy person and waiting to do it every 3 to 4 weeks, which is totally what I used to do. One of the things I'm really pleased about is having this mirror at the end of the hall. David wasn't really sure about having one, but I was so adamant because there's no space in our bedroom to put up a full-length mirror. There's no wall space left, and there's no space to have a freestanding one. And there's enough of a runway here that I think it works really well because you can walk up to it, take a look at your outfit, you can walk back a little bit, you can turn around, you can see yourself from every angle, and it's just really great. And this sounds funny, but I can't be the only other person who's done this before, but I was so tired of standing on my bed so that I could see my entire body in like a mirror that was only like chest up, or like standing on the ledge of a bathtub so I could look in the bathroom mirror to see what my entire outfit looked like. So I am so happy, so happy to have this mirror here. Okay, so backing away a little bit, this door over here goes into our guest bathroom because we do have 2. And we decided to paint this room cool aqua because blue for a bathroom is pretty basic, and it's, I think, soothing overall. It's aquatic, you know, it's a bathroom, there's water happening in there. We have obviously a sink, we have a toilet in here, and then the other thing we have in here is a shower, which is great. It's a little bit old, it doesn't look that great if you get inside here, but you know what? It's a shower stall, that's more than we need, and hey, you can even like wash your feet if you really need to. So if we close that up, we have basic towel rack, we have a I don't know if it's a painting or a pen drawing by my my really good friend Allison's mother. She's a great artist, so she gave us that as a wedding present many moons ago. And then just over here, we kept it really simple. I did not want to clutter this bathroom with too much stuff. So we've got a clock up there that was an inheritance from a friend who just, or 2 friends who just didn't want it anymore. You know, we got some candles here, a little picture that I got in Prague because hello cats, and we have lots of those kind of things around here. And then just kept it simple, seriously. Cotton pads, Q-tips, some moisturizer, some soap, and then the mirrors up here. And that's it. Hand towel, a little bit of one of those scent diffuser things, and then another cat picture because of course. So that's the guest bathroom. It's really simple. It's how I wanted it. I don't want this thing cluttered, and I think it works out really well. So if you spin completely 180 around from the bathroom, we have our studio. Now this space is always going to be cluttered. It is always going to be messy, and that is perfectly fine by us. because this is where we do everything with our computers. So we both have computers and we both have 2 monitors. So the way that this room works out is that the entire room is bisected by 1 desk, and then we each have our own areas. So on the left side over here is David's area, and he just has everything that he needs. He's got a light table over there for drawing. He's got some stuff of his that's just up there for artwork. He's got his 2 computer monitors here. And then over on the other side of that, we've just got a bit of like utility rack with stuff that we just use. And then we do keep our cat's litter box back there. I'm not gonna zoom in, but it is in the closet. It's kind of out of the way. So anyway, David's stuff is over on that side. He's got some of his artwork. And then my side is over here, as well as some bookcases up here with like more books that I have that didn't really fit out there. These are a little bit more, I guess, on, you'd say, the nerdier side. I've got all my Buffy the Vampire Slayer books here. I've got a huge collection of Nancy Drew stuff up here. These are all pop figures for Halloween costumes that I've actually done. I've got a Captain Marvel on the way. I'm so excited. And then I have some figures from my World of Warcraft days. So I've got, that's wearing some T8 from Ulduar, and then this one's wearing T7 from Nax 25. So down here, more Buffy stuff, and then a bunch of Star Wars books down here. And then this shelving unit here is a bit of a mishmash, but that's always gonna be like that. I've got some backgrounds for filming in there. I think this is just arbitrary boxes for mailing out giveaways and stuff like that. And then I've got paper for backdrops because I use paper to put down to make a white base. And then this is just kind of like product that I've amassed and cataloged but haven't necessarily reviewed yet, as well as product that ends up in bags down here. Like it's just gonna be all over the place all of the time. So my side again has 2 monitors just like David, because I don't know how people work off of only 1, and I prefer desktops for working, that's for sure. So I have my setup here, and then my tripod sits here with the ring light, but the ring light is currently in the bedroom right now because I don't have enough lighting in the morning, so I've been dragging that over there. But this is how I film. So all of the setup goes here, and then I film onto this backdrop here, which David set up onto a bar that goes the whole way around, and I can just clip a new backdrop on depending on what I'm doing. And of course down here I do have an Alex 6-drawer unit. 5-drawer unit from IKEA. I've got my nail polishes right in here, and then some stationery there. And then I've got some empties down here, and then just more boxes of product that I still need to talk about. All right, so leaving the studio, we're gonna head into the bedroom now. So we have some storage here. This is our only linen closet. It is very, very small, but it fits our stuff. So we swing around here, and then here is our bedroom. Walking in, this was painted the color Summer Plum, and it's kind of amazing because we have such aggressive bed sheet colors and a duvet cover, and I'm surprised that the purple with the blue and the green works out really, really well. So we've got some IKEA lights there with some IKEA tables, again, still legacy items. I would like to eventually move away from all IKEA stuff, but that's what we're working with for now. And back here, this is where my eyeshadow palettes are kept. Actually, let me just turn on this ring light. It's a little bit more glare, but anyway. So this is the unit that is the same as the one that we're keeping our wine glasses on in the main room. This I'm just using for my eyeshadow palettes. So up here, we've got a whole bunch of them. We got more there. And I didn't really think this through because that's not enough space. I still need more bookshelf space for eyeshadow palettes because as you can see right there, they're starting to get stacked on top of each other, which is really frustrating. I didn't think this through at all. Anyway, over here I do have some lipsticks. I think these are all of my lipsticks, and then some the Too Faced holiday sets that just didn't sit anywhere else. All of my glitters are in this one right here, and then I've got stuff just kind of sitting everywhere. It's my backup of NYX Microbrow. Got a ton of those. And then some random journal books that I have down here that I've just kind of had for over the years. My makeup sort of setup is identical to previous years. I do also have this little stool. This is also another Struck Tube item, but they didn't have it in Toronto, so I had to get my parents to go get it in Ottawa, and they brought it over one time. So this is where I'm gonna be setting up to do my makeup on a day-to-day basis. Okay, I just turned that back off because that was getting way too bright. So I will be doing an updated makeup collection at some point, but it's not gonna happen for a few months, at least until I get some other stuff sorted out, because this is still like, stuff is everywhere. So we have a little bit of a corner over here for the cats. This is literally their like toy chest. Yes, we have that many cat toys. So Nemo tends to sleep here a lot. He likes just, you know, looking out the window, and when the windows are open, they will look out there a lot and just kind of like smell the air. So up here, we just have a few more shelves. These used to be the units that I kept my palettes on, but now I've just moved my perfume onto it, and then like another mirror and just a Kleenex box and stuff like that. We have a TV in our bedroom. This handy little wire cover is supposed to be painted by me, but I just haven't gotten around to doing it. Then we have our laundry over here, and then a dresser, obviously just for stuff that you wouldn't necessarily hang up. All right, so coming into the very last few rooms in this place, we have a walk-through closet, which is great. It keeps a lot of our clothes, obviously. I asked David to put a double rack up for me just so I could have more space because I have more clothes than him. I've got some shoes up here that are used very infrequently. And then over on this side, David has a single rack with a lot of storage space up there. And the single rack works out well for me because I get to hang my dresses at the very end over here, and they can just, you know, hang to the bottom without being worried about like being cut off by the half rack here. So we have this walk-through closet, and then we come into our bathroom, which I feel is kind of smaller than the guest bathroom, but that's because this one also has a tub. So this one was painted, I think the color is St. Patrick, which just speaks to me on so many levels. So we have a single sink and then a lot of space to just put stuff on top. I don't necessarily like that aesthetic, but this is stuff that I use all the time too, so I kind of want to have it out. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things in this unit here. That is literally stacked, like triple stacked sunscreen up there. And then I've got face masks and some other skincare stuff in there, and like moisturizers down there. It does tend to look quite cluttered, which is not something I'm a huge fan of, but I also don't want to put it all down here because then I'm just never gonna use it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure what I'm doing with this bathroom yet. I mean, obviously we want to renovate both bathrooms and the kitchen, but I mean, we're years off of doing that. So we have our mirror here. These are medicine chests. It's the same as the other one. So you've got a whole bunch of things back there as well. And then obviously we come across, we have a toilet here. And this is where it gets kind of dicey. So we have to swing around and close the bathroom door, and then we're facing the bathtub. So it's pretty tight. Like there's not a lot of space between here. If I pull this open, like it's literally just clearing there. So yeah, not a ton of space in here, but this bathtub is quite nice. It is a deep soak tub, and it is a jacuzzi, which means that we get jets. And I like how deep this thing is too, because like I can fill it and I could get completely underwater, which is great. So that's just our shower here. It was recocked. David recocked it, thank heavens, because that whole line was just like brown. It was awful. But this thing kills me. So this is a soap dish, and obviously you can see there's a little bit of water in it. Whose idea was this? There's no drainage hole, so there's always going to be still water sitting in there. And for a soap dish, that is just so unreasonable. So like we can't really keep anything in there because every time we have to have shower, we have to like scoop the water out. It's just so silly. And that is our bathroom. So that's it for the condo tour. I hope you liked looking around our place. I have to say I am so happy with it. There are still things that we want to do. I mean, we want to change certain curtains and put up more artwork and stuff like that, but you're never really done moving into a place, whether you're buying something or you're renting, you're never done. You always want something more to be perfect, but this is as done as we're gonna get for now. So I hope you liked looking around. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.